Our voice is brought to you by the Asian Pacific Islander Alliance. My name's Eiko Yoshikawa, and I'm so happy that you're tuned in with us. We're on the air every Tuesday, and our show features leaders in the Asian community and Asian organizations. And I'm really pleased to have as our guest today, Mel Legasca. But before we get into Mel Legasca's history, I just want to give you an overview. We're going to be talking about the Filipino Center. We'll also be talking about Barrio Fiesta that's coming up, and we'll talk about Mel's involvement with funds. So Mel, will you tell us a little bit about yourself to get us going?
Well, my roots are actually in Tacoma, Seattle area. I was born in Tacoma, Washington in April 25th, 1947. On my mom's side, my mom is black and Irish and Native American, and on my dad's side was from the Philippines. He's Ilocano from Vigan, and he arrived in Seattle in 1929, and he met my mom in 1934, and they married in 1937, and 10 years later I was born in 1947. I also have a older brother, Frank Legasca, who is a school teacher, who is also retired, Edison High School teacher, and a younger sister, Mary Alexander, who is a school teacher in the Los Angeles area. She's also retired.
Okay, you told us a little bit about your mom and dad. How did they meet? I'm just kind of curious now.
Yeah, they actually met at a dance in, I believe Mom said that she attended a dance at a Catholic church event. And the story goes is that my dad was dancing with other ladies, and my mom was dancing with other guys, and finally my dad asked my mom for a dance, but my mom had been dancing for a while. She says to my dad, Frank Arcala Legasca, she says, "No, thank you. I think I'll dance maybe next time." And my dad got upset and said, "What's the matter? You think you're better than me?" And the rest is history. It was love from first start, I think. But he passed on in 1954, and my mom moved our family to Stockton in the summer of 1954. And my mom had a sister, Gloria Urbina, that lived here in town.
So we're supportive of other family members.
Right. The other family members, my mom was a family of, there were 9 brothers and sisters, and Mom just turned 94 just in July.
Is that right?
And she is the last of my aunts and uncles. She is the last, she is the oldest, and she is the last surviving sibling.
So tell us a little bit about growing up in Stockton.
Growing up in Stockton, we basically grew up on 7th Street. Actually, our first house was downtown Stockton on San Joaquin Street. It was across the street from an empty lot on San Joaquin Street, right next to the railroad station. And there used to be a little carnival there that, as kids, we were able to run across the street when the carnival was there, and they were only there for 3 or 4 days, but it was so neat to be. We lived in an apartment on 7th Street, San Joaquin Street, and we were able to go to Jackson School on San Joaquin Street, and then we moved to 7th Street, which is a little east of the fairgrounds.
Okay.
And my dad had worked his way, and he was doing farm labor work, and they saved enough money to buy a house on a lot. They bought this, I think it was about 150 by 300 foot lot. It was a fairly good sized lot. $600 back in
Oh my goodness.
1957.
Wow.
He built us a house on that property for $4,000.
Incredible.
And we
Yeah.
were raised in that house. Mom lived in that house for 50 years.
So that was a stepdad?
My stepfather, my mom remarried when she moved to Stockton, and my stepfather had raised us
Okay.
in that house.
And you were talking to me about what schools you went to, and in particular a high school.
Well, in particular, we're actually in elementary school. I'm going to go through the whole gamut here.
Okay.
Garfield School, which is in South Stockton. I was actually bused to Stockton Junior High, and I didn't make it to Marshall, but I did attend junior high school at Stockton Junior High, and then to Edison High School, and graduated from Edison High School in '65, and then attended Delta College for 2 years, and was employed in 1968, in the summer of '68, July of '68, I was employed at Sandia National Laboratory. And 1 week after I was fully employed, I was drafted in the Vietnam War,
Oh wow.
but actually got an exemption, so I didn't have to go to the war. But I did go through Oakland through the induction center, and while I was at the induction center, I was told, guess what, you don't have to go. And I had an allergy problem, and it was right in the middle of allergy season, so that helped. But I did work for Sandia National Laboratory, which was a Department of Defense, and
See, I don't really know the name, so it's a company in Stockton?
the company is actually based in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but the branch that I worked for was in Livermore. Livermore, yes. I started there in July of '68.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, you're great to interview. Ask a question and Mel, you just go on a roll. So,
The 38th annual Barrio Fiesta will be held on August 14th and 15th at the Filipino Center Plaza located on 6 Main Street in Stockton, California. For more information or to participate in this event, contact Frank Catula at 209-466-1416 or on the web at www.filipinoplaza.org. This is our voice.